is I Have Something to Talk About.
Welcome.
It is. And we have been planning this for so long.
So long.
Like,
I have been hyperfixating on this moment for weeks.
For more than that.
Many weeks.
Thank you for fixing.
Multiple weeks.
Absolutely. Not that I'm here for it. I'm very happy because someone had to be hyperfixated on it. It wasn't me.
Yeah, I was zoned.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I am Tatiana. You know that.
I know that. I am Brooklyn.
I know
as
that.
You know.
Yes. We have been friends for incredibly too long.
Far too long.
Oh my gosh.
We should end this.
Okay, yeah, no. One and done. Gone.
Roll the tape.
For sure. And, I mean, I guess, long story, like the conception, long story. COVID happened.
And it was a foggy day in 1992.
That was before I was born.
The conception.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa. That went right over my head. Don't talk about my mom and dad having sex. It freaks me out. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Oh my god.
Okay.
COVID happens.
Yeah, shit happens. Yeah.
Absolutely. As one does, COVID happens. And so we had started doing, you're going to have to get over my Italian hands. You're going to have to be okay with it. Okay? I don't say that because I am Italian.
You're married to an Italian.
Married to an Italian.
You do sometimes have an Italian inside you.
Oh.
Whoa.
Is this
where our podcast
if you're
is going?
a student of mine, you have to leave right now. Because if those are the jokes, you can't be here. I love you so much.
Look at the teacher face.
I'll see you on Monday. Go away.
Go away.
Go away. This is my me time. We talk about this in school. Okay, anyways.
Yeah, anyways.
COVID.
We
started doing Friday phone calls, as we called them. Very enthusiastically. Friday phone calls. And we stuck to that for
did so good.
Most weeks. Solid 18 months.
Yeah.
Almost never missed one.
Almost.
Literally. Crazy. Most we've ever talked since we were in school together.
Because we were very, on top of it, and then we float off from each other for months. And then all of a sudden, we come back together, we're I miss you so much. But yes, you're right. COVID came. We talked almost every Friday.
Absolutely. Because I think before COVID, we were doing fairly consistently at least once a month girl nights.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So anyways, this is all a big long lead up.
And we weren't allowed to do.
We weren't allowed to see each other, so we had to figure something else out. So we figured instead of doing a 10-hour girls' day once a month, we were going to do Friday phone calls. And
3-hour phone calls.
For sure. Definitely upped our time. Don't think the husbands were happy.
No.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I think that this was near the end of our Friday phone calls.
I think we were on the way back home from Drumheller from one of our runs when we really we were having a really good conversation.
Oh yeah.
And we
absolutely. And I was I just constantly feel like I need to call you and be oh my god, shut up. No one say anything. I have something to talk about.
Yeah.
And it completely took off into this, we kind of I think we said it in passing, left it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I called
Someone
you back,
should be listening
maybe
to this.
2 weeks later, and I was no, but for real, I thought about something today, and we should absolutely start a podcast, because I do have something to talk about.
Right?
And I feel more than you, in people terms, deserves to hear it, because obviously I'm the firstborn eldest daughter of my family.
As
so
am
I clearly feel constantly people need to hear what I have to say, because everything I say is incredibly important.
Very. Extremely important, and we need to just get it out to the world. There. And we need to have constant validation.
Oh,
I know for
totally.
me, external validation is definitely the biggest part.
I don't know if external validation for me is as important, but just making sure that everybody knows exactly how wise I am.
Yeah.
Very important to me.
And
if you ask
both have
anybody, I'm stupid. For
we
sure.
both have had dwellings into therapy, and this is basically therapy. This is basically our talks.
Oh my gosh, yes.
For me, I know you have a therapist, a great relationship with a therapist, but
I love you, Pam.
I also love you, Pam. I am not, as consistent with therapy. So
for sure,
talking to you definitely becomes my therapy.
Yeah. And so again, like, I mean, we're probably going to get into this so much more as these episodes progress, but I feel like the longer I go to therapy, the more I feel like wrongfully so, but like the more I feel like I'm like, I could give some good advice based on the 4 years of therapy I've done. And then I'm like, you are not a therapist. You should be not doing that.
But it's all right to offer
my, I think therapy is like wisdom in the long run. You're literally paying for like wisdom.
Yep.
I feel like, especially if you have a good therapist.
That's right.
For me personally, I feel like paying for therapy is like paying for wisdom. And then it feels like it's going to waste if I don't share it with someone.
There you go. And I need wisdom. So
you have lots of wisdom of your own.
Talking to you about it and having wisdoms. You impart all of your therapy nodes and nodules and things to throw at me.
Just put in my nodes basket. In you? For sure. Great. How did this devolve so quickly into tentacle porn?
And here we are.
Episode 1, 9 minutes in.
And like 4 minutes of that is just us bull crapping. We literally couldn't get ourselves together.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yep. Yeah, we're probably like
I forgot about all the laughing at the beginning, so it's good.
Anyways, I am a mother to 2 boys. I've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
I forget that he's 5.
I know, right? That hurts me. I know. And I'm a nurse. Just recently am a
CEO, entrepreneur. She's a boss, babe.
Girl boss.
Oh my god, girl bossing way too close to the sun. Gaslight.
Definitely way too close to the sun. So I'm enjoying myself there. What do you do? Please introduce yourself.
As you heard me sternly talking to my teacher, my students earlier, I am a teacher. And the teacher in the loosest sense of the word, meaning that I am a fun teacher. So but I am a substitute teacher. The whole full-time teacher thing is not for me. I much prefer being the fun sub that gets to come in and goof around and have a good time and then part ways at the end of the day as friends.
And you must be, there's definitely some form of masochism going on.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
You like to teach. Don't hit the mic.
I'm so sorry.
You like to teach
exclusively junior high. Junior high is my jam. High school is like a little bit more. They intimidate me. Like they're way funnier than me, and like snarky mean. So they do intimidate me. But teenagers are mean. But I do love junior high so much. Specifically 8th grade. Like they are consistently hilarious. I love them so much. And also they're still, the reason I love them so much is because they're still not to the age yet where if you come in with a funky, fresh attitude, which I hope that I do come in with that most days, they're down.
Yeah.
They're like willing to have a good time.
It's not,
they're like, oh my god, she's so lame.
Yeah.
No, they're like ready to clown. We're going to have a good time. We're going to like roast each other a little bit. Yeah. We're going to talk about TikTok.
Yeah.
And like TikTok has been a saving grace for my career because I have like this one thing that I can be like, hey, you know what? I'm a cool person. I also know TikTok memes. I have a specific class.
We try to do the jerk.
Absolutely. I do learn TikTok dances and then I teach them to them and they think that's hilarious. And I love it too.
I have so much time to hyper-focus on this. Like I have spent so much time focused.
Look at the decorations.
On this.
Yes.
Trying to set this up.
These are all handmade. They are. They're all handmade.
We were in I had this originally set up, just the chairs, in a little closet. Because we have like this oversized closet under the stairs. And it was going to be like the podcast under the stairs or something weird.
My god. Harry Potter reference. Clock it. 12 minutes in.
Whoa. Woo. But
just so you get a really good feel for what kind of podcast this is going to be.
It goes downhill from there. We peaked. That was literally peak.
That's it now. It's done.
But when I put the chairs in there, it was literally like we were sitting directly beside each other. And I'm like, yeah, no, like we would have been like elbow to elbow.
And like knee to knee facing each other?
No, not facing each other, like
side by side.
Yeah, exactly.
Side by
straight
side into the camera. Yeah, oh my god.
Like,
what
it was
a
very
nightmare.
Like newsroom, like broadcaster.
Okay, I was like, that kind of would have been funny.
No, like we can't do
that. But like, it might have been
and it was obvious that the 2 chairs were too big for the space. Like it was obvious. And I was like, we can't have this.
We can't do this.
I cleaned my sewing room.
So this is all that ADHD hyperfixation is. One hyperfixation helping you get shit done.
It's
the beginning of time.
The bifenton helped me clean the room.
Oh yeah,
the Adderall.
Yeah. I'm with you.
The Adderall would not, like, I would not have been able to get this room done. It was going into madness.
Good.
It was.
Hey, that's all right.
Like, I had not moved the boxes that were over here in probably when we built the house, 2014.
Oh my God.
When the boxes sat there.
For sure.
Like,
no, I remember, because I remember this used to be like a full sewing room.
Yeah. There was a big table over on this side, right where this is.
Yes. Yeah. You helped me make my stocking stuffer things there.
Did.
Like, what, 2 years ago now? It's been
oh
a
my
while.
God, it's probably been 3.
No, just 2, I think. 2019 was the last normal Christmas we had. For sure.
Yeah, there was still fabric here from there, but I threw it out.
That's good.
I garbaged your fabric.
Thank you.
Because I didn't want it. No, I'm
Fair enough. No, it was dumb.
I'm kidding.
It was dumb.
I'm kidding. No, I had to get rid of, like, as you can see over there, as you can't see.
You can't.
I've got...
It's not for you.
Not for you. A ton of yarn balls, and I could not bring it down anymore. I threw away so many.
You threw away yarn?
But just like
bits and pieces. Don't touch the mic.
Don't touch the mic. Just like little, like, knitting ends, you know, where it's just like the little ends of them, and I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with like 2 feet of yarn?
Let me put you on something here.
No, don't.
Okay. Moving on.
Stop. No.
Okay. I made an ugly scarf with all of my knitting ends one year.
Like, I had to tie them all in.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that terrible. No. It was the ugly, that's why it was called an ugly scarf. It was not nice tying in. It was like, double knot quick, snip off the ends. All right, let's go. And keep on knitting. And I still have it. It is the ugliest scarf that is ever. It's like none of the yarn is the same weight, color. I switched up my pattern halfway through. It is the ugliest scarf. If I ever find it in my pit of despair of a basement, I will bring it to an episode because everyone needs to see it. It's so goddamn ugly. It's my favorite thing.
Well, I did not have that much commitment to that. I threw them out, and now I've got the yarn that's sitting over there.
Yeah.
But as we talked about, the podcast is named I Have Something to Talk About.
Absolutely, because I do. I have so much to talk about.
Short form, S2TA. For when we get to know each other better, you can call us that. So
for sure. I'm so very excited to get to know all of you. No.
But because we literally have so much to talk about that, and these are all unscripted. We've just decided... Yeah, we have way too much in our brains that just needs to come out of the mouth.
It can't sit in there.
Yeah.
It's got to come out.
And we were literally planning for 15 minutes, and we're already over 15 minutes, and we
guarantee this is going to be at least a 30-minute episode, for sure.
We haven't even scratched the surface of it yet. And we're really breaking the third wall, talking about what's behind the camera already.
It's the fourth wall, but okay.
Listen, I live in a 2D house, okay?
I didn't think you meant 2D. I thought you meant 2D.
It stinks in here.
It fucking stinks in here.
Oh my god.
It's like, well, you 2 live with 3 boys, so it does check out.
That's true.
Yeah, for
boys
sure.
Love
Although
jokes.
I do have a little, I guess I'm such a bad mom. You immediately started by saying you have 2 people.
I don't think we've talked about your daughter.
Nah, she's there.
There's a kid.
I love her so much. She might as well be a little boy with how much of a hellion she is.
She's the best hair.
Oh, she does have the best hair. It's way better than mine. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It's like all her dad too. Her dad's got gorgeous hair.
He's also Italian, so he's got
lots of hair.
He's very hairy.
He's a hairy boy. His nickname growing up was Sasquatch. I still call him that to this day.
No way.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. If he walks out of the shower without a shirt on, which most people do, he does not shower fully clothed.
Really?
When he walks out of the bathroom without a shirt on.
Completely fully clothed.
Fully clothed all the time, never nude.
Ever. And we both, like you've mentioned, are married.
I am.
I also am.
I am. I also am.
Mm-hmm. And like very end of the spectrum. Like your husband is very hairy.
Oh,
very hairy, dark Italian.
Very dark Italian.
My husband, very, very Caucasian. Very fluorescent. And 0 body hair.
I know.
So,
which, honestly, at this...
You know?
I know, because you've told me about it. No. No thanks. In no universe would we swap. I could not have a hairless boy. I could not for me, not for you. You would also hate it.
A hairless boy?
No. You would hate a hairy boy.
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's just a lot of Stockholm syndrome, because when I first got together with my husband, I was like, that's a lot of hair. And now I'm like, you know what? It's kind of nice, but it's Stockholm syndrome for sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I definitely like it now. Did not feel that way at 18. Yeah. Which, that's another thing. I've known that stupid boy since I was 18. And Brett, if you're listening, I don't actually think you're stupid. Okay. I think you're great.
Love you.
You're great.
Well, I'm glad that our tastes change from 18 to 28.
Oh my god.
We're 28. That's one, hard to believe, and two,
that's a lot.
If I was still the same person I was at 18, oh my god. And talking about you being a teacher, teaching junior highs, there was something I wanted to mention, but my ADHD brain could not get it out in time, and now we're back to it. Junior high kids don't have any brains. Their brains completely shut off.
Oh, for sure.
When they hit puberty, which for some people is earlier than others. But puberty completely shuts everyone's brains off, and then they don't turn on again until at least 25.
Oh my gosh.
At least 25.
I actually have like this really strong theory that because there's like concrete proof that shows that kids don't start developing empathy until age 4. And I have this like really, really solid theory that I would love for some psychiatrist or therapist or somebody with a dissertation or like, I don't know, a PhD, anybody, please, to look into the fact that like
education.
I swear to God above that once they hit puberty, that empathy that they've been building since they were 4, gone. And I think that that's why it feels like their brains turned off. Because they're still like so incredibly intelligent and like so witty and so funny, but like just have absolutely no scope for giving a shit about anybody except for themselves. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like there has to be some kind of scientific evidence backup, because like they're just, their empathy is not there. Yeah. And it's gone. And I'm like, good dude, just really hurt my feelings. Yeah. On a Tuesday afternoon. And when you say that to them, when you're like, dude, that was uncalled for, that really hurt my feelings, they're like, I don't care. Yeah. And I'm like, I can tell. Because no normal person would say that.
Do you remember what we were like in French? I can clearly remember us in French when a sub would come on, and we were just like
so
horrible.
Rude. I thank my stars every single day that I have not yet had a single student, and like, oh my god,
easy.
I hope you heard that. I had to really knock emphatically because I don't want to wish this evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
Keep that evil out of here, Ricky Bobby.
Get that evil out of here. But I'm looking.
Got hopped out on Mountain Dew.
Perfect. You gotta get the demons out of me. I think those are 2 different shows.
I don't think you quoted Talladega Nights, but you didn't stay there.
I didn't stay there. I immediately went to Hot Rod with
YouTube or December. Not YouTube. Oh my god, U-turn.
Wow.
Shut up.
Okay.
What were you talking about?
Anyways, what was I talking about?
I don't know.
Welcome to. There's the first one. ADHD time. You have a strong diagnosis, right?
Yeah.
Like went to like a specialist on medication for it. Yeah. I am TikTok diagnosed for sure. Got most of my validation from you going to see a specialist and being like, "Oh, me too."
And then every once in a while, I'll bring up something, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely this," and I'm like, "Oh my god." Like, yeah, maladaptive daydreaming.
Maladaptive daydreaming was a new one.
I thought it was just intrusive thoughts. Like, anytime I've had something like that, and I've just been intrusive thoughting about it, and then, and then when I was telling you about it, okay, I'll indulge here. Let's go into this intrusive thought, which I thought was an intrusive thought. It started out with my kids playing outside without me.
Oh my gosh!
And they were out over by the barn where there's trees and like a bushy area, you know, which I have planned for a future episode of S2TA. Let me just shameless drop that in there.
Absolutely.
Where we get into fears, and this bush, for some reason, I'm convinced there's going to be something come out of it. Something come out of it. Anyways, my kids are playing over there. I can see them, but can't really see them. And in my brain, Axel, I'm in the house. Axel comes up to the house and he's like, Mom, Leo's gone. A coyote took Leo. So I take this screwdriver in my pocket, a knife in the other pocket, and I go like Rambo manhunter this like coyote, and I figured out where the tracks are, and I am following his tracks, and then I hunt this freaking coyote down, and I managed to kill it. Totally. And that was me killing the coyote.
Absolutely.
And then get my child back and just blood on my face with my child, just Rambo momming it back to the house.
For sure.
And then I kind of told that to you a little bit, and you're like, that sounds like maladaptive daydreaming. And I looked into it and I was like,
for sure, do that all the time.
So that's not just a little intrusive thought?
No, just continuous.
My whole brain was
the fact that you just talked about it for a solid 2 minutes meant that it was happening in your brain for a lot longer.
It did.
And also, that's not a little intrusive thought. It's a full scenario you just played out in your brain. My guy.
That happens so much.
Oh, me too.
And I just think it's an
That's
intrusive
why I had
thought.
to look into it, because some jackass on TikTok was like, oh yeah, maladaptive daydreaming, blah 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 blah, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cute. I'm gonna look into it a little bit, and then I was like, oh no, if I find out one more thing that's wrong with me, I am going to call it here and now.
Anytime. So when I was initially trying to get the diagnosis, which now this is turning into an ADHD podcast, but
for sure.
And we're at 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So when I was initially trying to do figure out what's going on, because I've been struggling with this for a long time.
For sure.
As a teenager, I was going through so many debit cards, and still my credit card is lost in this house somewhere. I don't know where. But
do you have it memorized though?
No, I don't. I have the first 8 digits memorized.
How do you spend money?
With a card.
Oh, gross.
Swipe.
We don't know her.
Tap.
Yeah.
Anyways, it started out bad as a teenager, and I finally, because of TikTok, was starting to clue into this a little bit more. So I'm seeing a psychologist, I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, me neither.
A doctor dude who can...
A brain doctor.
A brain doctor, definitely.
But not a neurosurgeon.
No, not a neurologist.
Not
Anyways, let's skipping past. Talking to him, and I was doing these at home do you have ADHD or women ADHD symptom tests, and every single one was whoo boy,
woof.
Yeah, woof is
For
right.
Sure.
It was everyone. It was maybe don't diagnose yourself, but maybe take this to a professional. And I was like, okay,
all right, thank you.
Every single one. I did DSM. I did probably 15 different ADHD tests,
and even that kind of hyperfocus is a big red flag,
right?
The fact that you were I need to take so many different tests that, so again, I don't have a diagnosis at all, not even a little bit. My therapist said that if I wanted, she couldn't give me a diagnosis, obviously, she's just my therapist, so she can't do that, but she was go ask your she was go ask your doctor for Adderall, he'll give it to you. And I was no. I was immediately no, I don't want to do that, because I don't want to be, I don't feel my ADHD, I feel if ADHD is kind of on a spectrum autism is, not saying that they're the same, but if it was on a spectrum, I would say that I'd be on the lower end, where I feel it's a lot more manageable, it doesn't affect my day-to-day life, but I do know that there are some things where I'm oh my god, I wonder if real grown-ups struggle with this I do. Do you think that too?
I literally
constantly
think,
all the time.
How do people... Everyone's got to feel like this.
Sure.
This is normal.
It's
there's lots of days where everyone's I literally can't get up off the couch, just normal. That's just
totally
normal.
Absolutely.
And it's not.
Because when you share that with somebody who is neurotypical, they're what's wrong with you?
Or if you share an intrusive thought, you're you've never ever wanted to just drive into traffic?
Oh yeah, my husband is soups neurotypical. I would say has maybe a touch of anxiety like a normal person. Which if we're talking about diagnosis, I do have a pretty solid diagnosis on having an anxiety disorder, so that's fun. We love that for me.
Yeah. Me as well. Also.
Hey,
nice
to see you here. For you. So my husband is soups neurotypical, and so when I do share my intrusive thoughts with him, he's Or actually, it's not intrusive thoughts so much as it's like just constant worry. And I like do my best because I do go to therapy to control that, so that I'm not a crazy person, because I do find it's really unmanageable. So I like go to therapy pretty consistently to help like manage that. And because again, don't want to be on medication. I guess that's my choice. So woo, we love that for me. And I like share a worry with him, and he's like, "You okay?" And I'm like, absolutely not. But you know that. So why are you still asking
me? Do you
me?
find it's gotten worse since you've had kids?
Oh, totally. Absolutely. Like, it's hard for me. My child is 3. And I have just taken down our baby gate to the point where I can, like, let her go downstairs and watch TV without... And so here's the nice thing is that, like, I love when neurotips... We're going to start calling them that.
Aunties.
The aunties. Not to be confused with auntie.
Well, I said NT.
Oh, you said NT? I thought you said aunties, and I was like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense. So to the point where, like, I feel like a neurotypical will say something to me as a joke where they're like, oh, aren't you worried about this? And I'm like, friend, I just spent the last 6 weeks talking myself down off of a ledge, and you've given me a new one to throw myself off of. Like, why? So, for example, this whole, like, gate thing. I took down the gate, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so freeing. I love that she can go downstairs and play with her toys, because most of her toys are downstairs. And when I'm cooking supper, it's always an argument. Always a fight, because she's like, I want to go downstairs. And I'm like, but I'm cooking supper, and you have to be with me, because I have to make sure you're not choking and dying, obviously. Clearly. So, I finally got this gate down. She's finally allowed to go downstairs and have a little bit of, like, alone... Freedom.
Yeah.
Super excited. We're both super excited about it. My stupid brother. I tell him this about how excited I am. He's like, what? Your bathroom door doesn't close downstairs. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. But, like, the door to... Because, like, we have a sump pump because we live in a small town. So, like, we have a sump pump and it opens up in the concrete floor. And, like, there's a hole. So I've got, like, a doorknob thingy on the door going into that room. There is no way that she can get in there. I have made sure. Because if that was any way she could get in there on her own, there's no way she'd ever be downstairs by herself. Ever. So, like, that was my biggest contender. Was like, oh my gosh, I don't want her to be able to get into that room. Because what if she gets the lid off? What if she falls in? What if she's dying? Like, obviously.
That's always in our minds as moms, I feel.
Like, it's such a quick penny toss to what if they're dying, and
then let's maladaptive daydream about like, a scenario where they die.
So anyways, we get that all figured out, but my bathroom door that goes into that room does not shut all the way, so I can't put a locking mechanism on it because you can just push the door open because the grate doesn't match up. So the door doesn't latch, so you can't put a lock on it. And so I've just kind of had to, like, baby-proof that room.
What about, like, one of those apartment ones where it's, like, the string and then you just, like, slide it in? Then it doesn't need to be, like, tight. It could just be, like, you know...
I could just fix the grating, too. I mean, I could do that.
True.
So, but I just baby-proofed the room instead because that's easy. And did not think about the fact that it's also my laundry room. So, but I did think about the fact that, like, there was chemicals in there. So, like, all of my, like, Tide Pods... Because we know you Gen Zs like to eat the Tide Pods. So I put them up high. I put all my, like, Downy pods up high. Everything up high.
Downy pod?
Like the shaker, pod? You know, the shaker. The scent infusions.
Scent stuff?
Yeah, I do. Because I bought it as a joke. And I'm hella addicted to it now. It makes my clothes smell so good. Oof, those scent boosters kill me. Love it. Thanks again, TikTok. Anyways. My stupid brother looks at me and he's like, aren't you worried about her getting into the bleach underneath the counter? And I was like,
I wasn't.
Hadn't even thought about it. Because I have literally been working up to having her be downstairs by herself for, honest to God, no word of a lie, 6 weeks. Like, it has been a long process. And now, with one fell sentence that he said as a joke, he was like, oh, I know there's no bleach under there. And I was like, it's not funny because now, no more going downstairs by yourself. So then I had to completely figure out a new situation. So that she can be down there.
Talking about the gate, when I finally took down the gate, which also, like, Leo was over 3 when we took down the gate. The only reason why the gate came down is because in our flood we needed... to move everything. It was just too much of a pain to always be opening the gate. So I'm like, we'll take it down, whatever. And that was only this summer. And so, but every single time they walk by that that stairwell, and like ours isn't just like 4 stairs down. Like ours is like 15 stairs.
Oh, for sure. That's a hard fall.
That's a hard fall. I feel like I got a burp. Anyways, every single time they go by that opening, I'm like, there they go, off to their death. You know? Every single time they walk by it, and then I think that. And like, that definitely is not a normal like thing.
No.
You know?
But maybe it is. Like, I don't know. Like, I hope that at some point we get to the point where this community is just a bunch of moms being like, no, that's normal. Like, I need a bigger pool to pull from. I need more moms to be like, oh yeah, no, that's normal. Yeah. Maybe, hear me out. Maybe we all have problems.
Right?
Like, there's
doesn't
no
everyone
way.
get panicky when they go into a grocery store?
I forgot my headphones the other day, and that was enough to send me into a spiral. I can go into the grocery store, but if I don't have my headphones so I can't block people out, that's not good for me. I cannot. If I can't power walk to Shakira while I'm getting the groceries,
I know hips are not lying.
These hips are not lying. You better stay away from me, Jeffrey.
Like,
don't breathe on me.
I cannot go into PV Mart if I have not taken my medication. Why are the aisles so high
and so narrow?
Half of a foot wide.
No.
Like, you can't have 2 people meet. Like, if I've gotten to the point where I walk by and I glance down, if someone's down there, I just continue. I'm not going to go down that.
No. There's no way you can get 2 carts by each other.
Exactly.
So now you're going to be awkwardly stuck in the middle of the aisle.
So then I kind of just like do this weird thing, like where I just like walk by, fart around over here a little bit, walk by the again, see if they've moved yet. Like, it's so dumb.
You can look like a crazy person.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, no, you're still there.
No, you're still there.
No, you're still there.
No. Honest to God, I usually, here's my hack. Maybe you can use this in the future.
Please.
I will go by and look and see what direction they're heading down.
But then it's so creepy because you started on this side, and then all of a sudden I'm like, boom, I'm behind you.
Oh, I don't think about that. I'm like, no. I go around and I go behind them. But then if they feel rushed, if they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I'm like, hey, my catchphrase is, I've got all day, baby. And I like stand there and I'll like lean against the aisle.
But where they are in the aisle, and then where you come in, they are 100% in front of the thing you need. So then you're kind of just like pretend looking over at the beginning of the aisle at something. You're like, yeah, no, this is very interesting over here. When in reality, you want that's over there. And you're just kind of like trying not to make eye contact with it, because I've been that person where I'm like in the middle of the aisle and I'm looking at what I want, but then there's a person there that's obviously fake looking at something in front of the aisle and they're waiting for me to move.
You
my
definitely care way too much.
Right? And then I'm like,
couldn't care. This is why you need headphones. I'm listening to Shakira.
This is why I don't fucking care what
because
I'm literally like, there was this one time we were at Superstore. This is probably why I stopped shopping at Superstore. Lady had her cart parked right in front of the frickin' yogurts. I am at the point in my grocery shop with my children that I am like, no more.
It's time
to
get out.
To leave this building.
Or someone's going to be embarrassed.
I'm done. I'm done. So I have nothing left to give. This lady left her cart in front of the yogurts, is gone.
No.
She is. She's down with the eggs.
Did you just move her cart?
I shoved her cart.
For sure.
Something fell in her cart. So then I was concerned. So then I picked it back up. And just as she's coming, I'm like in her cart moving this thing back up, and she sees me. And I'm like, oh, sorry. You know, I'm just trying to get in the yogurt. And she glared at me. I was like, bitch, your cart is in the wrong place. You're not even here. What?
That like fills me with a level.
Why are you mad at me? And then, but seriously, I talked to my psychiatrist about this probably 4 times, because I kept thinking about that. I'm
like hyperfixating on it.
I'm
not even hyperfixating really. But
why was her cart there?
Why
was she mad at me? I'm not the one in the wrong. Her cart is in front of the yogurt.
Ooh, for sure.
Like, I need that yogurt. She's way off in eggs. Why can't her cart be in eggs?
Take your cart to the eggs with you. He's like, if there's one thing you can take away from this entire podcast, okay?
Take
first episode out. This is such good advice. Take your cart to the eggs with you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Don't just
take it.
However, I am so guilty of just like leaving my cart.
You walk away from your cart, you fucking heathen.
But like, I don't like,
why?
I don't like go from the yogurt to the eggs.
This is only going to make sense if you specifically go to the superstore where we live.
Right?
Maybe all superstores are made the same.
Maybe.
We built different.
But like, sometimes, if no one's around, like, if someone's around, absolutely not. But, like, sometimes I have left my cart, and then I'll, like, jump, you know, when you pass something. Sure. Like, today, honestly, we were in Walmart, and I freaking needed
town today?
I did. I was in town.
Oh, right, you told me that. Oh,
I got my booster.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I got the 5G. I think I had a reaction. I had this big red rash on my thigh today, and it was super hot.
Talk about Walmart first.
Where are we at?
You were in Walmart.
Okay, we're in Walmart. So I was going by the dairy, picked up cheese.
Okay.
Get down a little ways, realized I need cheese strings. Run back, go get cheese strings. Get down.
Yeah, but
look
where
at my
did you leave
list.
your cart? At the meat?
Not meat.
Not even
just
that
like,
part,
just like frozen yogurt. Just like, or no, not yogurt, frozen fish.
The frozen fish.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
God, you were there.
I know, but like, still, I had to like go back and like, and then I realized, then, you know what else I forgot? Then I forgot sour cream. So then I had to like run back again, and but like no one was around. But I just still kind of feel like a dick. I'm like, if someone was here wanting in frozen fish, and I'm just like, I would glare at them because I'd be that lady. I'd be like, why are you touching my cart? It's in front of the frozen fish, but I'm way off in fucking milk.
I do think there's a difference though between touching somebody's cart and touching somebody's cart if they have kids in it. If you have kids in that cart and somebody touches your cart, it's go time.
Oh, yeah.
The elbow's coming out. Just so if you're only listening and you're not watching the video portion, and you're not following us on TikTok, I just gestured. I just gestured. Gestured to me hitting my elbow because I was going to smash them with my elbow as hard as I could.
Is it WWE now or is it F? I can never remember.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Oh my God.
We're not talking about wrestling right now. Okay, that's too much for me. I have a whole other podcast episode.
Okay.
Absolutely ready for wrestling.
Where were we?
We're gonna smack somebody if you touch my cart with my kid in it.
Right. She didn't have a kid in it. She was older.
We had buttered chicken tonight for supper.
Ooh. Did you make it?
Absolutely not.
Did you buy it from
I'm working on it. Oh, like, did I make it? Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not the sauce from scratch. I buy this, listen, shameless plug for Costco. I buy the...
Don't ever shop at Costco. But continue.
Oh, you're bad. Also, tall aisles. Way too many people.
But
it's so much.
Nice wide aisles.
Nice wide aisles.
You
also
can
nice wide parking spots. No one's door dinging you at Costco.
You can at least get two people by
each other. You could, honestly, if everyone was lining up like they got themselves right with the Lord, you could get 4 people wide down that aisle, no problem, with their carts. Okay, we're not talking just people here. We're talking full carts.
And those carts are gigantic.
Those carts are gigantic. This cart is gigantic. I rode in those carts until I was the healthy age of 22. Made my mom push me around in Costco. Absolutely.
To the
salon.
I was gonna say to the tasters. What are they?
I do remember the one day that we did do this, and I made her push me around.
Do they still have the
I did make her take me to the tasters. Oh, it was... I'm not 22 anymore.
I know that. Do they still have...
They are bringing the tasters back. Oh my gosh.
Are they tasters? What are they called?
I don't know what they're called. I was in Costco recently with a friend of mine, and we both were dying laughing because we were talking about how weird it is that they brought the tasters back in COVID. So it's like where she was like so pressed about it. She was like, yeah, wear your mask. Make sure you sanitize. We only let 300 people in at a time, but also here's some free food that everybody can touch. Why don't you eat some?
Yeah.
Why don't you come over and sneeze on it? Okay?
Come here.
Come and breathe on this food, and I'm going to give it to other people.
Fingers all over
I really, really love that for us. Anyways, talking about Costco. The buttered chicken sauce that you can get from Costco is unreal. Don't get me wrong. You have to doctor your chicken up a little bit. Like, it's not good straight out of the jar. You do have to kind of mess with it a little bit.
Really?
But it's the closest that I've gotten to, like, authentic. I got recently told that butter chicken is not authentic Indian food, which I'm not sure if that's true. And the person who told me, I called them mean names. Because that's rude. Don't tell people when they're trying to eat more ethnic food. When you grow up somewhere as small as we did.
Yeah.
And, like, as whitewashed as we did, like, never saw a person Canadian of color Texas. Until I was literally almost in university.
Yeah.
Like, honest to God. That's about as crazy. I mean, like, in our own town.
Yeah.
Obviously saw people of color when we went up to the city, because that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, where we live...
Less than 1,000 people in a town. Like... I was on a birth group one time, and this lady was, like, talking about how small of a town she lived in. She's like, we only have 2 7-Elevens I was like, we don't have a stoplight, okay? Like,
not a single stoplight in either of the towns that we live in.
Like, they're past 7 o'clock. There's not a store open.
Oh, you
like,
could not.
Like, I don't know.
I drove here today and the Esso was closed. I wanted to get a Diet Coke before I got here. Absolutely
no Diet
not.
Coke for you.
Good night.
No pour vous.
No pour vous. This is the bad French we were talking about earlier.
Yes, the bad French. Let's not start. Let's not get started.
Okay, we're just gonna move right past that.
Yeah. We should probably almost
call it.
Yeah, pretty soon.
Anyways, it's butter chicken.
Yeah, tell me. Let's finish. Let's end on the
butter chicken. Was delicious. The butter chicken was delicious. We buy naan, and if I call it naan bread, Brett makes fun of me now because naan, I guess, I don't want to say an Indian and sound like an uncultured white person, but that is kind of what it boils down to. Is like I don't know everything, so like I'm working on it. I'm actively working on being not the worst kind of white person out there. Looking at you, Karen. Woof. Woof. That's a hot take for sure. First episode. We're coming out hot and hot.
Yeah.
And and so like I guess naan is the word in that culture for bread. Oh. So now whenever I say naan bread, Brett goes bread, and I'm like, oh my god.
It's like chai tea,
right?
Chai tea. What is it? Wolf. No.
TT.
Moon.
Yeah, so anyways, we had just like normal, like white rice and this butter chicken that I made.
Delicious.
And
sounds
naan
awesome.
And like, I don't know, steamed vegetables.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, sorry, continue.
No, that was it.
My thought is there.
That is it.
Okay.
It was delicious.
I was living in the city.
For sure.
And a guy I worked with brought this butter chicken. He's like, you want to taste it? I was like, sure. It smells delicious.
Wonderful.
Smells amazing.
Yeah.
Tried it. Didn't love it. That's
disappointing.
But then our small town here has a restaurant, and they were doing those meals. And
the new Vietnamese place? Or no. You're not. No. We're talking about two different things.
I was talking about the ready-to-made meals that we got, absolutely. And they made butter chicken and naan and bread and rice and stuff, and it was delicious. It was so tasty, and I was like, I definitely want to do this again. Haven't yet, but
it's so good.
Would do again. 10 out of 10.
Delicious.
I really enjoyed it, and that's probably like the whitest person Indian dish you could ever have.
Oh, for sure. I feel like butter chicken is like...
We gotta start somewhere, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because when our palate is literally chicken nuggets and french fries, dude, you gotta branch out.
Oh, girl, and you think Sprite is spicy water? You gotta get somewhere, okay?
Yeah. My children won't... My 3-year-old doesn't even like the spice that we put on the taco meat seasoning. He's like, it's too spicy. And I'm like... Spicy. I literally looked at the taco package today.
Did it have the one bell pepper?
The extra mild one. I was like, maybe I should pick up the extra mild one this time. Because the regular one's too spicy.
I can't. My daughter ate the butter chicken today. And like, she's notoriously picky, right? Yeah. And she ate the butter chicken today. And I looked at her and I'm like, do you like that? And she was like, oh, mama, it's so good. And like rubs her little tummy. And I was like, oh, this is a win.
That's
absolutely
awesome. Axel will eat 5 tacos on taco night. We do taco night so much because he just absolutely is obsessed with it. Leo hates it. Will not eat them at all.
That sucks. That honestly though, that is what being a mom is all about. It's like you've had one thing that one of them will eat all of, and then the other one is like, no, thank you.
Yeah, but that is
all the time that we have to talk about that,
and that could go on for an entire 40 minutes.
We could literally. We actually do have an entire episode talking about food because Brooklyn makes me so angry.
You're coming around, but we're not talking about that right now.
We're not talking about that right now.
But, so, yeah, this is where we're going to cut it off. Thank you so much for joining us for our first episode.
It was...
I Have Something to Talk About.
Absolutely everywhere, and...
Yeah.
Get ready for the chaos. It's like we said, it's unscripted. It's going to be like this the entire time. So if you don't like chaos, and if you read the title and you're like, oh, it's for sure going to be about that thing. No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
We have no idea where this is going.
It's going to start there, for sure. I can guarantee it'll start there. It will not finish there.
No. We will be 100 miles away. But again, thank you.